so big is because there's people from out of state here. Well, we know that that's not true, but yes, some people have traveled from other states. And today I'm joined by two brothers from the Canadian labor movement. Secretary Treasurer, Communication, Energy and Paper, and John Gordon, Public Service Alliance of Canada. And you know why they're here? And you know why some people have come from other states and why people are rallying in every state across the country? I'll tell you why. Because solidarity has no borders! For some reason, it seems like it's okay to take tons of cash from out of state, but if people from out of state come to help you, oh, that's a big problem. Well, I say, solidarity has no borders. They stand with us. We stand with them. As workers and middle class, we're in this together, right? Who needs to come up? Sure thing. All right. But the one person who is not here today, we have this empty chair, and it says Walker on it. Now, you know, unions have been asking to have conversations for quite some time, and no one's talked to them. So we put this chair up here with a sign, hoping that the governor would join us. But I don't know, there's a lot of snow accumulating on this chair. You know, Governor Walker, refusing to negotiate is not good for Wisconsin. It's not good for its citizens, and it's not good for its workers. It's disrespectful. You should respect the workers. Respect their unions. You need to come to the negotiating table and find a compromise to move Wisconsin forward and create jobs. We are willing to work together. We are willing to do our part. We have already agreed to all the concessions on wages and benefits, but instead of working together to fix the budget, Walker is insisting on stripping our collective bargaining rights. And he's not just after working families. This bill also lets him sell public power plants with no competitive bidding. He also wants the ability to make massive cuts in Badger care and senior care without legislative approval. Walker's proposals go too far and amounts to nothing more than a power grab. We have already agreed to all of Walker's pension and health care requests, concessions that the governor himself said will solve the budget challenge, but he still refuses to come to the negotiation table. It is time to work together across party lines to agree to a compromise and get Wisconsin moving forward and creating jobs again. Incredible that so many of you are here today and all across the country, in all 50 states. They're also having rallied to defend the rights of working families. That is a movement now, a movement across this country, a movement that was caused and created by everybody who's here today. Today is not the end of our fight. It is just the beginning. We know that the governor is going to introduce a horrible budget on Tuesday. He's going to keep attacking working families. He's going to keep cutting education. He's going to keep cutting health care for seniors and students. So we need everybody to be fighting with us. We need everybody to come together to move Wisconsin into the future. Here, now, in the future, in solidarity. Here, in Madison, at your home, in your districts. You need to call, write, email your senator and your governor, and make sure as you move around, there's people with clipboards. Make sure you sign up for the updates. I want to thank you all. Thank you all so much for coming out on a day like today and making our collective voice heard. Onward, solidarity!
My name is Aston, and I teach at the Baraboo School District here in Wisconsin. I'm a special education teacher, and I teach early childhood special education. So I teach 3, 4, and 5-year-olds with disabilities, some of the most vulnerable kids in the school systems.
Can you tell us what's going on here today? Why is there tens of thousands of people out here demonstrating today?
Because our governor is trying to ram this bill through without listening to the public, and it takes away collective bargaining rights for teachers and union workers throughout Wisconsin. Pretty much anyone in a union, except he excluded the cops and the firefighters. They'll come later, I guess. But the bill also has a lot of other nasty provisions. It has language in the bill that gives the governor the right to do anything he wants with Medicaid, which is particularly frightening for me because a lot of the kids I teach are on Medicaid. They have fragile health care issues, they're children with autism, and they depend on Badger Care, which is Medicaid for kids in Wisconsin. And I'm afraid that's going to be gone, and these kids that I teach that really need it won't have any health care. So there's a lot of other nasty things in this bill too. It's a lot to fight against.
What's behind the move to take away teachers' rights to bargain and public employees' rights to bargain? What's going on? Why is that happening here?
Well, I think it doesn't have anything to do with balancing the budget. In Walker's first 3 weeks of office, he gave $140 million away to corporates, out-of-state corporations, and that's at the heart of the budget issue. It doesn't have anything to do with balancing the budget. It has to do with breaking unions and breaking the workers in Wisconsin so that the corporations can have more profit, have more control. Unions are, the only thing fighting back in these elections against the corporate money, and so it's about breaking them so that they can control elections.
And can you tell us why teachers need it? Why do they need collective bargaining?
Teachers need collective bargaining so that they can have a decent workplace and so that the kids can have decent schools. There are 5 states in the United States that do not have collective bargaining rights. I'm not sure if I can remember all of them. South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Texas, and there's one more I can't remember. But those 5 states, their rank on the ACT and SAT scores are in the bottom. I think that West Virginia has the highest. I think they're at 44th, and all those other states are in the bottom. Wisconsin, our ranking on the SAT and the ACT is number 2, and we want to keep it that way. So if teachers have collective bargaining rights, we can bargain for things like class size, things that are important for the education of kids, and that's why it's important. Not just for teachers and to hold their salaries, but for the environment, for the kids in the schools, and to keep the best teachers in the schools. It's not like we're getting overpaid. A little bit. It hasn't been a huge drain on the public schools, but that certainly could be a threat, I think. Is that happening? Yeah. And I think, charter schools are a lot about draining the funds away from public education. If we don't have an educated public, then they can do all the propaganda they want and control things better. So I think that's at the heart of part of it too. Maybe I'm a little too cynical.
Have you been coming down to the rallies and all the happenings over the past couple of weeks? Have you had a chance to
I have. We've been down many times. It's hard though because I'm teaching all day. But sometimes we come down in the evening. We've definitely been out here on the weekends. It's important to support this.
give us a little description of the things that are happening here? I'm amazed by all the different, so many different groups. There seems to be this whole thing happening here. Can you talk about that?
I've been amazed at the politeness of the crowd. There's just these huge throngs of people, and when someone speaks, let that go by. When one of the speakers is done speaking, the whole crowd will chant, "Thank you, thank you." It's a very polite crowd. The university students that have been holding the Capitol are really impressive. They've been sleeping over so that they can't be kicked out and the Capitol can't be locked away from the people. But at the end of the night, before they go to sleep, they all together clean the floors to keep the Capitol clean, and then they sing the national anthem and they go to bed. It's just some of the things that are going on down here are incredible. It's just incredible. And it's very peaceful, and it's just an amazing group of people, families with children, old people, teachers, workers, all colors, all ages, and from Wisconsin. Most of us are from Wisconsin. I know they're saying, oh, it's everyone from out of state. No, I'm from Wisconsin. It's from Wisconsin. They're from Wisconsin. This is Wisconsin.
All of the teachers with you?
What?
Do all of the teachers in your school have the same sense?
Yeah, a lot of the teachers I work with, we've been just exhausted because we're not sleeping at night. We're so worried about this. It's very worrisome.
We've described the scene inside the Capitol, all the kind of what's happening there, what they do. Because through different people speaking.
In the center of the Capitol, called the rotunda, it's being held by university students, and they're kind of holding it so that they can't kick everybody out and lock people out of the Capitol. And they're playing music, they're playing drums, they're speaking with loudspeakers, and there are just people all around listening to them and cheering them and thanking them. And it's an amazing, powerful, positive, energizing vibe in there. It's just an amazing spirit. And apparently word has come that they are going to kick all the students out, I believe at 4 tomorrow on Sunday, and clean the Capitol and take the Capitol back from the people. And what's happened is in Wisconsin, the police union has come forward and said they don't support that, and they asked for volunteers of police to sleep in the Capitol. And starting last night, I guess there were a couple hundred police that slept in the Capitol. And so if they're going to clear it, they're going to be asking cops to take cops out involuntarily. And I just don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think that's going to happen?
We'll see.
Why is it important that the Capitol is being turned into a people's house?
It is the people's house. It's government for the people. We elected Walker to work for us. It's not a dictatorship. That's our house. We need to have our voices heard. They cut off the hearings. The Assembly voted on the bill without hearing all the people. So yeah, it's really important that we keep that open and we keep access to our state government.
Terrific. Any last questions and last thoughts? Any last thoughts?
It's cold in Wisconsin.
Can we just give you this sign?
But you look awesome.
That's how they know I wasn't shifted from out of state. I skied here.
Speed up.
You could film from there?
Well, I did
Yeah.
They were predicting that this weekend. I don't know.
They cross before and they list all those people.
Tell us about what's going on here and about why you need to support your union.
Well, our school board just passed my resolution
Kidding.
Thursday night to defeat this bill to take collective bargaining out of there. School boards around the state, we want to work with our teachers and the other people who work in our schools. We want to bargain with them in good faith because we really care. It's just a local control issue. We believe in local control of our schools. The people have elected us to make decisions about the schools. The governor needs to take back off from taking away the workers' ability to bargain. Everybody knows it's a universal human right for workers to bargain. And Milwaukee Public Schools, you'll never read this in the paper, but they're great schools. Two of the top 5 high schools in the state of Wisconsin are in Milwaukee Public Schools. And both those schools, half of their population qualify for free or reduced lunch. But they're great schools, and they're integrated. People choose to go to those schools. They're wonderful schools. And this bill will kill our education system.
Why is it important for teachers to have the right to collective bargaining?
It's important for any worker to have the right to collective bargaining, not just teachers, but the people who serve the food to our students, our food service workers, the people who clean they need to, because the union is that's their voice. Otherwise, their voice will be completely lost in the process. It's a fundamental human right. And it's true, not just for schools, but for everything. The unions are what fight for small class sizes. The unions fight for good educational policy. And we really need to revamp our ed policy system in this country. It's the unions that are putting pressure on the government, on the school boards for small class size, for the right kinds of education for our students. The politicians, the corporations, they're not interested in making leaders and making good critical thinkers, but the unions do. The teachers care and the other people care. So that's why it's important for them to be able to bargain.
What would you like to say to all those people out there that don't have any union?
Well, every worker should be able to have some voice. And I think that the unions are a way not only to get their members' voices out, but to really make the concerns of workers heard for across the unions are the people who put the pressure on to create things like worker protection laws that fought for the kinds of bills that make workers' lives bearable. If it wasn't for the unions, we'd still have children working. We'd still, we wouldn't have any protections at all. So those unions actually create protections for all workers, and they become the voice by default for workers who have no other protections.
Hey, defend workers' rights.
There's been people out here demonstrating for, I guess, almost 2 weeks now, and I see that there's a vast diversity of people that have coming down there. Can you talk about this whole thing that's been happening over the past couple of weeks? Give us some ideas and a rundown on what's been happening for the past couple of weeks.
Well, it's because of the tremendous threat to our workers, both all of our public servants, but to unions in general. People are coming out to say this is wrong, as people are looking, I mean, it's a good thing that people are studying the whole bill because they're realizing there's a lot more at stake than just unions. There's a whole privatization of, our economy here in the state, and things like, nuclear power plants are being, those are being privatized, energy's being privatized as well. And these things, these in Wisconsin, there's a lot of water around here. There's some really incredible natural resources. Those are the people's. Those are not, somebody doesn't own those. Those are the property of all of us. And it's unions, it's people like this who are making that case for everybody.
Are they trying to privatize the schools?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you live in Milwaukee, we have great schools, incredible schools. My son just graduated from Milwaukee School of Languages. I could not have purchased an education that he got there. It was not only a great education academically, he's on a full scholarship in theater right now, but it was in a diverse environment by kids that choose to be there. So it's really great. This bill will kill it. It's going to, the first thing they want to do is kill transportation so that kids who are choosing to go to schools together from all parts of the city will no longer be able to. And when they only have neighborhood schools again, then the people who have the means will pull their kids out and send them to private schools. It's a backdoor means to privatizing the schools. But they've been working hard at it already. I mean, there's so much money to be made. And that's the problem that our board has with No Child Left Behind. No Child Left Behind has been filled with perks for educational corporations. And it's just not right. It's just not right. Our duty to educate our children should not turn into money scams for other people.
What's the status of charter schools out here? Is there a big move to create charter schools here?
Well, we have charter schools, and we've got voucher schools, and we've got and there are so many. There are a lot of problems that result from that.
Can you talk about what kind of problems result from the vouchers and the charter schools?
Well, from the vouchers, there's no accountability. Public tax dollars are going to private schools, and there are some that are really good because they get a lot of outside support. The whole problem with the, waiting for Superman approach, you get a couple of good charter schools that get a lot of private funding in addition to the public funding, and, they're able to do some pretty good things. If you funded public schools in the same way that you funded charter schools, some of these private churches, it would be incredible what we could do for our children. The point is, we need to educate our children. They have immense challenges coming up. As a country, if we are not investing more in education and our investment has not increased, and other countries like China, are investing billions of new dollars into education every year, where are we going to be in 10 years and 20 years? What's going to happen? It's going to be terrible for our children. I mean, I am ashamed of what my generation has failed to do for our children. Great public schools. It's right there. If you look at the Library of Congress, in one of those halls it says, the foundation of every state is the education of its children. That is our foundation. It is our future. We have a moral obligation to educate those, and we need to make sure that we keep that public, that we keep publicly elected school boards, so that the corporations and the political managers don't get in there to make this a little money machine for their friends and the corporations.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thanks, that was great.
All right. Is that your own system, or you represent?
Walking around and chit-chatting.
Hey, ho ho! Hey, Walker's got to go.
So much better. Are your hands free
Yeah, right, yeah.
I want to make sure not even yeah, I'm a little silly.
Here we go. Revolution cam.
That's right.
Hot soup? You want some hot soup?
I didn't see it.
Like 500 your friends there? Oh, is it? Harder. Hey.
Solid Wisconsin, but it didn't all fit.
Come on, pizza.
Everybody and their brother will be.
I was.
That's go Yank.
You're rolling. Take that.
Wisconsin credit. And then you can always check in and see.
How long before you're there?
One with shovel with.
I love that. Coffee. I think everyone's got those. Yeah.
I'm right here.
That was
Then I got the notice. Now I'm back.
Just keep going counterclockwise.
We're gonna do it, might as well do it big.
What is this? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. You know I know that.
Guys.
Another age of 29.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy sounds like!
Red Sox, all right, go Sox.
Sounds like.